Back on the battle for Bengal debate, and the focus tonight remains on Bengal, ladies and gentlemen. One aspect, even as we were talking about Mamata Banerjee and the rift within the ranks, continued to be crime, cut money or corruption, and of course the overall spiraling, downward spiral in the law and order situation. Take the case what happened today, where the BJP called for a 12-hour bandh in that entire Cooch Behar region over the lynching of their worker, booth worker. The police, the local, the establishment or the administration says it was a fight between two rival clubs, but the fact is that one was leaning or backing the BJP, the other one owes its loyalties to the Trinamool. And the family itself has alleged and named the Trinamool Congress workers. They've said they are all Trinamool Congress workers, the people who lynched their loved one. On the other hand, you have this incident in Malda, which is also focused or highlighted by the Governor Jagdeep Dhankar, saying we need to get into this and the administration needs to crack down on these illegal bomb factories. Let's dive into the debate back up. And is law and order going to be Mamata Banerjee's biggest Achilles heel? Tom Vadakan?
Well, yes. I also want to answer one issue raised by Mr. Gautam Lahiri. He said about the perception that I collected in Delhi. Now let me correct him that I collected the same perception about the rout of the Communist Party in West Bengal, and I got this impression right sitting here in Delhi. So this NRI Bengalis cannot be written off. Now the point here is, Mr. Gautam Lahiri, we had this discussion in press club with a lot of friends who didn't believe it. You are the president of the press club and you know what kind of heated discussions happened on that time. Nobody believed the communists could be wound up the way they did. Now be what it may, let me tell you something. The communist parties, secretaries, district secretaries, okay, they migrated into Mamata Party's group. And they have become the mafia that runs TMC. That is the reality. Now they have got out of control. Mamata Di has no control. This killing field is a process of that. And why is it happening? Because they know this is the time for the loot. Because this is the last time they can survive. And this violence that you see in West Bengal is part of the lack of control of Mamata Di. She has no control over them. They are migrated. They are criminals who have migrated this side. Unless this house is set in order, which only the Bharatiya Janata Party can do. We'll do it with an iron hand. We'll see that Bengal comes in its own glory. We will ensure peace in the state of West Bengal, and this kind of criminal fields we will eliminate. That, Anand, is a point.
So the good guys are moving to the BJP, the bad guys are all in the Trinamool. Gautam Lahiri, you want to respond to that before I bring in Tausif and the others?
No, this is a typical answer of a politician. When actually, unfortunately, in Bengal, there is a tradition of a political violence just before the election. You know, when Mamata Banerjee was the alliance partner of Congress, I think that time Tom Vadakan was in Congress. And P. Chidambaram, the then Home Minister, he publicly said that West Bengal has become a killing field. So that was the allegation of Mamata Banerjee when CPIM was in power. Now, when CPIM was in the opposition, they charges Congress when Congress was in power for 30 years. So, point is that political violence, unfortunately, in Bengal, it happens during the election time. In no other state we witnessed such kind of things. It's a very bad thing, no doubt. An election commission also cannot do anything. So I think that political parties, if they shun all the mafia criminal elements from contesting an election or taking into the party, I can't name all the names, those who have joined recently in Bharatiya Janata Party or somebody who are in Trinamool Congress. We know their antecedents. As I come from Bengal, I know the antecedents of those people, but they are not all. There are good people in both the parties, in all the parties. But what I'm trying to say is that let the fight be political, let the fight be on the basis of ideology, definitely on the fight of a vision of how the state should be developed. So that actually gets marred when this political violence takes place. It is true, it is not that the Trinamool Congress workers are not being murdered. They are also being murdered. be the number. But point
Yes.
is, even a one single death is unfortunate. That should be condemned. And the government of the day,
Absolutely.
that is, I think, the responsibility of Mamata Banerjee government to ensure that this kind of thing doesn't happen or occur repeatedly, so that she can give a kind of an instance that some criminals have been brought to book, given a justice for the victim. So that is very necessary. Otherwise, the perception will go that definitely she is perhaps indulging in violence. But that is, even if it's not true, but that
Right.
unfortunately she has to carry that
No,
baggage.
I'm just saying this aspect, Gautam, and I'm going to bring in Tausif and Pathikrit and Devjani and Manojit on this again. 2018 Panchayat elections, Tausif, the way it was handled, the violence that was seen, the way rival candidates of the Trinamool were beaten up, was that a tipping point? Especially because around that time, the grassroots level corruption on cut money, that had also peaked.
Anand, I need to first respond to this incident of Kuch Bihar. Every killing, and you must have heard so many Trinamool leaders, they repeatedly say that even if a person dies of corona, he will be tagged as someone who is killed by Trinamool worker. What is political violence? If we talk about Kuch Bihar, the recent incident, were there political rallies going on?
Yeah.
Was there a BJP rally on one side and Trinamool rally on the other side, and therefore they fought with each other? That was not the case. The superintendent of police of Kuch Bihar has said that they were the members of different club and they fought. There was a quarrel between these two. The superintendent of police has said that someone hit on the face of the deceased and he fell unconscious then. This is what is the fighting, and what is the dispute about? Dispute is about a financial dispute, something related to the money. Is it right, to term every violence, every killing as a political killing? Now BJP will do that. We understand, because
Right.
it is BJP's narrative.
Right.
BJP's narrative is to defame Bengal,
Right.
to say that there is law and order situation is deteriorated
But
and
are
it
you
has
also
gone
casting
out of
aspersion
control.
on the relative of Mr. Karmakar? Are you casting aspersion
I'm
on the
not-
relative of Mr. Karmakar, who came on record, who named 4 people, and she said they all belong to the Trinamool Congress, and this was a planned conspiracy to kill my nephew?
I'm only pointing towards the fact that BJP people are present
No.
over there. BJP people are dictating over
No,
there.
no,
I am only
I'm
pointing
just
out
saying,
the fact
so
that
if the
Dilip
killers
Ghosh-
were from Trinamool Congress, the person who died was a BJP booth worker, the BJP is saying, and it's the family which is saying, so here you are going to quote the superintendent of police and say that the police was right, the family was wrong. But in Hathras, you will say the family was right and the police was wrong because it is under Yogi Adityanath. And the district magistrate was wrong because he was he was appointed by Yogi Adityanath, under the Yogi government. So I'm just saying that this doesn't hold hold parity, because if the family was right in Hathras, the family is right in Kuch Bihar. If the cops were right in Kuch Bihar, then the cops were right in Hathras.
I will tell you. In Hathras, we have seen that BJP MLAs gathered with 200 people and they were chanting slogan in support and against, in support of the rapist.
No,
And they were
I'm
saying
just
that this
purely
wasn't a
saying
rape at all.
about the administration
And
versus the
similarly-
family. Administration versus the family. The fact of the matter is the law and order situation in Bengal on a downward spiral, and is that a cause for concern for the Trinamool Congress, especially when the state establishment is seen and the police is seen to be hand in glove with the political establishment and not working for the interest of the people? Devjani Bhattacharya.
The Bengal, just 1 minute, just 30 seconds. Bengal BJP chief repeatedly says, the Bengal BJP chief repeatedly tells BJP political workers that go and beat Trinamool workers, go and beat police personnel. On 8th of October, they held a rally and they burned tires, they hurled
It's not about
stones
what
and
he
bricks
says.
on police.
It's about what the police
It
do.
is
A man
it
is
is
found
about
hanging
He's
outside
a-
his shop
he's a
with one hand
contender.
here
He's
and
the head
is
of the
standing
Bengal
like that.
BJP.
And then we are supposed to believe, accept the police's
publicly
version,
saying that.
this person came there, took the rope, and then hung himself and then decided to stand like that.
No,
Trilochan Mahto, Dulal Chand.
he is the root
What
of
happened with the High Court also talking about the custodial death of Madan Gorai? There are many instances, Tawseef.
Yes.
If you want to say a Tejasvi Surya, his FIR was not registered by the cops inside the police station, and a person with a licensed firearm was brandished and called a BJP's guy when he was actually based in Kolkata and hired as a personal security service, and the Bengal police did not correct that error, and quietly after 10 days of him in prison he was granted bail or he was allowed to go. These are all multiple issues. I'm just saying it all started the downward
you must
spiral from the
also point
panchayat
out
elections,
the
where there are
jurisdiction
visuals that is still fresh in my mind, where a young woman candidate,
firearms.
her father
He
was
was
slapped by a
carrying
Trinamool
firearms
Congress leader
unauthorized,
and was
illegal.
threatened that his daughter will be raped if she steps in to file her nomination. That video is still etched in my memory. And I am asking you this. These are two aspects: crime, cut money, and also nothing being done to control and counter the law and order situation. Is this going to be the biggest bane or the Achilles heel for this government under Mamata Banerjee? That's the question. Debjani, come in. I have limited time. Yes, Debjani.
Yes. Yeah. So what I would like to tell you, honest regarding this, that Mr. Vadakkan was saying that she has no control on the criminals. This no control is her control actually. She has let loose the criminals of the state, and the state is run by the criminals at this moment, and she has given free passage to all. So criminals are doing rampage, that's true. And the here in West Bengal, there goes a legislative executive nexus. West Bengal government's bureaucracy is hand in glove with Mamata Banerjee's legislation in supporting all these criminals. And why are the people so violent?
But somehow, Debjani, I'm not able to believe that Mamata Banerjee would allow that. Manojit Manda, final word to you. I've got only 1.5 minutes on the show.
Ways of arming. So people are scratching the ground.
Why would someone like Mamata
pointing
Banerjee,
out
even if the police was under her control, allow a law and order situation to develop in such a way that people would have a negative image
accused of that murder in Barakpur region. Okay, so it's not just only one political party is in the receiving end. Yes, this is happening, but most of them are not targeted political killings, Anand. I mean, what is the targeted political killings? I think the left party, is aware of that.
Let's say by your argument, Manoj. But why did a High Court have to talk about and issue contempt proceedings on the post-mortem of Madan Gorai?
You see, this is a completely wrong information on your part, Anand. Madan Gorai was died not because of police custody. He was in judicial custody, and because of a disease in hospital, he died. Not in the judicial custody, police custody. If that was something
what did I ask? Did I say he died in
Hirpur.
custodial death? I said, what did the High Court have to do? Why did the High Court have family have to go to the High Court for another postmortem? And even on the postmortem, there was a contempt notice issued because the postmortem was not being conducted. See, I'm being very factual with my questions, Manojit. I'm not making any insinuation.
They want another postmortem. That's why they went to the court. They wanted they wanted re-postmortem. That's it. But on the issue of cut money, Anand, I wish to make a comment. I mean, look, who are the people now? They are actually decorating BJP's main portfolios. Mukul Roy. Everybody knows what kind of corruption charges are against him. Mukul Roy.
No, but Mukul Roy was clean, and it was a false allegation until the time that Mamata Banerjee that he was with Trinamool Congress. Now he's corrupt.
Why is the BJP accepting
So then are you trying to say Then are you trying to say that the allegations against Mamata Banerjee also stand now that Mukul Roy is in the BJP? Because the allegations were against both of them.
There was no FIR against Mamata Banerjee on any corruption charges. What are you talking about, Anand?
On corruption, chit fund. But cut money is a different aspect. You got Trinamool Congress MLAs now going and telling the panchayats at the panchayat level, don't try and take cut money anymore for the next 6 months. Be good. Once you come back to power, you can do that. So that's also happening on ground. Bengal will remain part of the discourse. I have to wind up, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to our panelists. I have shortage of time. We'll take this forward. I promise you. Bengal is going to be the hot button issue. But tonight, I want to take some time to also celebrate a commitment that we have underlined on Harpik Mission Pani. The Pani anthem, composed by A.R. Rahman, written by Prasun Joshi. It's time we all take the Jal Pratikya. Good night.
सोचो तो क्यों है आज सहम सहम पानी, ये चुपचाप पानी क्यों? चलो बदल दे ये कहानी कहानी, बचा ले निशानी हम। पूछेगी धरती तब कहाँ थे तुम, नदी रो रही थी तब कहाँ थे तुम। स्वच्छता और पानी, हमको बचानी है ये जिंदगानी। सोचो तो क्यों है आज सहमा सहमा पानी, ये चुपचाप पानी क्यों? चलो बदल दे ये कहानी कहानी, बचा ले निशानी हम। पूछेगी धरती तब कहाँ थे तुम, नदी रो रही थी तब कहाँ थे तुम। स्वच्छता और पानी, हमको बचानी है ये जिंदगानी। है कब से नाराज गुस्सा गुस्सा पानी, ये क्यों उदास पानी क्यों? चलो बदल दे ये कहानी कहानी, बचा ले निशानी हम। पूछेगी धरती तब कहाँ थे तुम, नदी रो रही थी तब कहाँ थे तुम। स्वच्छता और पानी, हमको बचानी है ये जिंदगानी। Drip, drip, drop, drip, drop, drippity drop, drip, drop, drip, drip, drop, drip, drop, drippity drop. चलो बचा ले ये धरोहर पुरानी, ये तेरा मेरा पानी। Drip, drop, drippity drop. चलो बदल दे ये कहानी कहानी, बचा ले निशानी। Drip, drop, drippity drop. पूछेगी धरती तब कहाँ थे तुम, नदी रो रही थी तब कहाँ थे तुम। स्वच्छता